I retired about 6 years back after 36 years of service. And it is said that after 10,000 hours of working, you become perfect. And I worked for 75,000 hours in 36 years of service. And everybody does. I became super perfect. Over and above that, I was heading a department. A lot of challenge and ultimately a lot of achievements. Well, what emotions bring in you when you feel achievement? Well, don't ask me to explain, I'll start getting goosebumps. It was a wonderful time. And then suddenly came, boom, retired from top with all the freedom. Beautiful. But no work to do. All the good. I enjoyed that time like anything. All the time to do anything you want. Watch TV, sleep, go roaming about, meet friends. So after my retirement, I shifted to the couch. Relaxed, no work, all freedom. Then that roller coaster journey continues. And if the roller coaster journey becomes too long, then it becomes slightly uncomfortable. So same thing happened with me. And this phase of freedom is like that. Initially nice, but it lasts for about a year or so, depending on the person. And slowly that distressing feeling that what I am doing, is that all? I'm watching TV, sleeping, meeting friends, traveling, fine. But how much? What I am doing? So that feeling starts creeping in. And once that feeling starts creeping in, you should take a hint that now phase 1 is over. And then starts the phase 2. And that phase 2 I call as storm. You will feel suddenly as if you are hit by a storm. You are hit by a bus and you are thrown away. Well, I was amazed. What is this happening? I thought it must be happening only with me. Is there something wrong? I said, let me discuss with some of my friends, my colleagues. And I called some of them. So, reluctantly, when I opened up, they also opened up. They said, well, same thing is happening with me also. But then trying to understand the reason of it, I searched to the Google, and then I found that there's a lot of literature with respect to financial literacy. But there's hardly a literature about psychological security and that sudden void which happens and how do you handle it. I realized that this psychological resilience is also very important. Another question which you may ask is, why is it necessary? It is not such an important factor. Well, some of the data will tell you that, the 2019 data of India says that 10% of our population, that is around 13 crore, are in the range of 60 plus. By 2050, India's population will be 166 crores. And the population of senior citizens, 60 plus people, will be around 20%. That is about 33 crore, a whole lot of USA. That a tsunami of retired people is going to come within 10 years. What is the standard of your health at 60? And what was the standard of your health of your father? We are much healthier than what the previous generations were. The longevity is increasing. With the development of medical science, I suppose the way it is going ahead, our next generation and next generation, they might be seeing a healthy 100 plus enjoying parties at that age. What does it mean? Well, if you interpret it, it means that 1/3 of your life, maybe even more, is going to be post-retirement. And should we not think about the psychological well-being of that huge number of population? That will affect the GDP of the country and the overall happiness index of the country. So that establishes the fact that this is an important area of work. So I tried to investigate into it, and out of my experience and other readings, I realized this post-retirement period can be divided into 4 phases. The first phase is freedom. The second phase is a storm. The third phase is trial. And the fourth phase is juicy phase. So I'll tell you one by one, and just keep going, hold your breath, keep seeing this video till last. The symptoms of each phase, you can realize it, what is happening, why it is happening, and what is the way out. That is the best part of it. So we have gone through the first phase. We felt no work, all freedom, enjoyment. It lasts for about a year or so, depending on the person. And suddenly that distressing feeling starts coming, some depression or some kind of that what I am doing here. And you enter a storm phase where you are hit by the bus and you feel what is happening. But what are the symptoms? Well, there are 4 symptoms of that. You will feel loss of certain things, loss of self-worth. Slowly, with that feeling that what I am doing, nothing worth anything, you feel loss of self-worth. The second feeling which you start getting is loss of identity. You know what happens when we are in the job? When we introduce ourselves, just reflect on that. Along with your name, you will always say that I was so-and-so. I was Principal Chief Conservator of Forest. Somebody will say I was CEO of a company or MD of a company. So your profession becomes your identity. And rightly so, if your work was 75,000 hours in a job, forget about 10,000, you are bound to have that identity. There's nothing wrong in that. The point is that the sudden break which has come, how to deal with that. The reality is that it has gone. You feel loss of identity. It takes some time to understand that you have your own identity with your values. The third factor which comes is a loss of relationship. Now, in the job for 30 plus years, you have a lot of colleagues, right from morning till late in the evening, you work with them, you enjoy with them, you fight with them, and they become part of you. In many cases, like with me, I had very good relations with all my juniors and seniors, and I feel that it will continue. And they used to come and we used to meet quite often after my retirement. But then slowly what happens? It starts getting shrinking. And it's not their fault also, because after all, they're also busy in their job. They have their seniors, their duties, and as the saying goes, out of sight, out of mind. Slowly over a period of time, that relationship starts getting cut off. So there's a loss of relationship. And with this comes loss of purpose. When there is no identity, when there is no worth, and there is no relationship, it's obvious that you feel, what is my purpose here? And you feel loss of purpose. And in some cases, the fifth feeling comes, which came with me. And that is loss of power. You know, some of us who hold high posts, and there's a lot of power associated with that. So somehow slowly your mind perceives that your power is gone. So if you start feeling these 4 or 5 losses, you understand that this is a phase of storm. And after that storm phase, which continues for some time, you enter into another phase. Because it is just in human nature that whenever we are confronted with some problem, we after some time let our mind settle down and start looking for the solutions. In my case, I thought I'll write a book now. I'll write blogs. I started something. I made my CV up to date, applied for a few posts. Somehow, they all get fizzled out. It is a process of trial, so it will continue. Don't revert back. Continue, explore something, and finally you will find that you start feeling good in doing something. It happened with me. I started doing this YouTube channel work. Initially it was difficult. I had to learn Adobe, had some training from some platform. In the very initial stages, whatever I used to start, if there used to be some problem, I used to leave it. That perseverance was not there. But then slowly, when I failed many times in many things, then whatever I started, I pursued it. I said, well, what is the solution? Let me have some training. Let me do this thing, that thing. And slowly, what happened? That I am really myself amazed that I developed this. I have about 90 plus videos, and this channel is now monetized also. A passion starts coming. And I sometimes feel that I'm doing a much better work and leading a much better life than what I used to. This trial and error you must continue, and slowly you will find one day that you have jumped into the last phase, and which I call juicy phase. Juicy phase is one where you start doing something which you start liking. But I've realized one thing, it has to have a purpose which is larger than you. It has to have a meaning which gives happiness to many people. A meaning to your life, a service-oriented work. Because when you make not yourself happy, but 10 more people happy, then your happiness is tenfold. And you feel that it is exponentially growing. So that makes you feel better than what it used to be. So continue that journey of trial and error, and slowly you will find yourself in the juicy phase, and then take best out of it. But then you may ask that how do I ensure that I jump from stage 3 to stage 4? What are the tools? What are the methods for that? Well, I have analyzed it, and I'll give you 4 tools that how do you jump or crossover from stage 3 to stage 4. And these 4 tools, I name them 4 ACEs. What are these 4 ACEs? First A is attitude, second A is approach, third ACE is aspiration, and fourth ACE is act. When you have your attitude right, that is very important. Maybe you read some literature on attitude and know about the mindset, the growth mindset you should have. Then you have the right approach, the methodical way of going ahead, not getting feared from the failures, and continuously, methodically removing the obstacles which are coming. And then you should have the right aspiration. Something which can have the larger meaning to life. It is serving many other people. Like Mother Teresa did, that's a high level example, but we can all do something which gives value to the life of other people. So that is a proper aspiration. And when you find all these 3, and then the last ACE you use, act, then don't think, just act on it, forget everything. So if you use these 4 ACEs, you're bound to jump from stage 3 to stage 4. Maybe it may take some time, less for some, and sometime more for others. But then it is certain that 1/3 of your life you have to make it juicy and fruitful and useful and something which you love to live. Well, this is a topic where many people may have many other kind of views or some other kind of addition to what I have said. Please do put in your comment in the comment section below. I have a playlist on post-retirement or retirement lifestyle, and there are a lot of things there, very useful to you. You can look into this playlist and see the videos therein and what is the comparison between the life and boxing. If you like this video and if you like this channel, please do subscribe to it, push the bell icon so that you get the notification, share with your friends and family members. See you in next video. Till then, bye-bye.